Greetings, friends in love and light. KJ Sagittarius here, also known as Lovely, and welcome to KJ's Couch. Alright, so if you're not familiar with me or my channel, remember to like, share, and subscribe first, as well as know that this channel is for inspirational, motivational content, and it mainly targets my people, the black people, my audience, my community. But I know that there's going to be, you know, all types of people watching the video, of course, but just know that these videos that I make and how I feel, in my opinion, is not to offend anyone personally, as well as it's not to change anyone's mind. It's just to be who I am and be real and just be open with that, and just for you all to see that there are other people out there with opposing viewpoints and perceptions, and they're all, you know, they're valid. You know, we should take them into consideration and always keep an open mind, as well as you know, evolve and have more understanding. So I have a long backstory and a rap sheet, and I've evolved from many things and learned from many things. So that's brought me to where I am today. And speaking of which, that brings me to the point of this video, and the point and title of this video is Rant of a Strong Black Woman, and that black woman would be myself. So hold on tight, because we're going for a ride. Myself, I'm a talker. I like to talk. I love to rant. That's just what I do. People usually think that I'm triggered, or you know, or like, you know, I have to, like, they'll be like, oh, you must have a problem, or, you know, you're triggered, or you must be upset. You just feel like you have to, because I respond, you know, in essays and stuff like that. But that's because I'm a machine, you know what I mean? I have to always say a point. Sometimes I go back and edit what I said. Oftentimes I do that because I'm like, you know, so, you know, this is what I do. If you don't want to watch this video in its entirety, which I suggest you do, because my freestyle of thought is the best type, then you know, don't watch the video. I don't even know why you clicked on it, because this is a rant. I'm a talker. This is what I do. So yeah, let's get to the point. So, Rant of a Strong Black Woman, myself, KJ Sagittarius, Lovely. Why did I feel compelled to make this video and title it that? Well, this is because I was labeled a strong black woman. I mean, I've been labeled, always been labeled strong, and the biggest word that I get that used to just haunt me over and over and just be, you know, that word that just people just always identified me with was feisty. Like, that's what I'm always, you know, kind of dubbed or considered, is feisty. And you know, some people attach that to me being short, so they say I have an inferiority complex or a Napoleon complex or whatever. And I'm like, man, they really just brainwash people into making them feel insecure and projecting, and then making other people feel insecure and like shit about themselves. You know what I mean? So it took me a while to get out of that mindset, but all of those experiences and the bullying and all that stuff shaped who I am. But I've always had a strong spirit. You know, I've always been the black sheep. I've always been the one to stand up, and I've always just like been the one to be vocal and verbal. And I don't know if you all are familiar with my background, if you haven't seen a couple of my videos before where I give info about myself, but I am a Sagittarius, which is my sun sign. I'm a Pisces moon sign, and I'm an Aquarius rising. So, and I'm also a life path 11. And I'm also an ENTPA. So according to the Myers-Briggs test, Myers-Briggs was a mother-daughter team who based their 16 personalities off of a former Asian, I believe his name was Jung, beliefs of these certain types of personalities in the world, being that there's 16 of them. So these women, Myers-Briggs is the mother-daughter team, created a system of and a quiz of what categories you could fall into. So, you know, like a personality test. And I did this kind of was in the beginning of my path. I did this, you know, just to see a background of who I was and, you know, my makeup. And it said that I was an ENTPA. Now, this was before I found out about me being a life path. I already knew about Sagittarius, my ego being strong. So I already knew about that. I needed more. Like, I needed to get in deeper and find out, like, it's like more than that. So when I found out I was an ENTPA, I found out that this is one of the rarest personality types, especially in women. I'm also part of the 11% analyst group, so which means I'm always analyzing things and, like, you know, breaking down different perceptions and ideas and understandings just to get to the understanding, and I can understand other people's viewpoints. I'm just an analyzer, you know. Also, that my profile, my personality profile, is also a debater. So I have a debater profile. That you can see, when I saw that really resonated with me. I was like, whoa. Like, I'm definitely a debater. That's definitely me. And one of my skills was people mastery. So I thought that was really interesting because I've always, you know, felt, you know, of course, wanted to be a motivational speaker, write, read, and acknowledge others, and also I've always had this gift of inspiring and motivating others and bringing out the best in others and just kind of like guiding others and moving them and leading them a certain direction and in a certain way in the mind and everything. So it's kind of like hypnotism, you know. So I thought that was very interesting, that and kind of gave me an insight. You know, it gave me an insight into who I was and why I was the way that I was. You know, not saying that was all that it was, but all these things helped me on my journey. So yeah, like, I had to find out why all those people were saying that to me all my life. Like, I always was getting into people, women specifically, and I'm going to touch base on that later in my rant, didn't like me. Now, we already know that they, you know, women don't really get along too much with other women, specifically black women, because, you know, even though white women, you know, they have the same dramas, they still are loyal and click up with each other. They're still pretty loyal. They may be sneaky behind the backs of each other and stuff, but they're still pretty loyal to each other with the clique. So yeah, so I had to figure out why, you know, I'm always arguing. Women didn't like me. Didn't have a lot of female friends. You know, I was always the controversial one. I thought hanging out with guys would work, and, you know, they're just the intellectual conversation wasn't stimulating enough. That was then, you know, but it's also who you surround yourself with and your environment and, you know, where you are at that period of time or where you live at. So the people at that point, you know, just before surrounding myself with the people that I'm really trying, you know, want to surround myself with now, the people at that point in my life then, you know, they were just not the people I should be around, I guess. But I've always been that controversial being at work. I used to, like, you know, lose jobs. Like, I used to just, like, have my own issues, all right? So my own, like, issues, or what they see as issues, but really I've always just been real. Like, I've always just been real, and I just can't deny it. Like, I just can't deny it. Like, if you say something stupid to me, or if you, like, you know, do something ignorant, or you know, or if you are misinformed about something, I feel obligated to inform you. Like, I feel obligated to correct you. And some may see that as, you know, like, oh, you have no right, or what's your place, or anything like that. You can feel however you want to feel, or I didn't ask for your opinion. That's totally fine, you know, but you're engaging with me. Like, you're engaging me. You're up in my space conversing with me and everything. So if you're in my bubble, you know, in my universe, then you're going to get the authentic KJ. So with that being said, let's talk about the first thing I want to talk about. And I'm going to try to keep these things as brief as possible. And I might go on a tangent on another thing, but like I said, this is Rant of a Strong Black Woman. And, you know, sometimes I go on a tangent, but I'll bring you right back to the topic at hand. So the first thing I would like to talk about is wigs and weaves. Wigs and weaves. Wigs and weaves, all right? So let's talk about, there's some stigma around these wigs and weaves. Like, why you know, why we wear them, why we shouldn't wear them, why black men approve of them, why they don't approve of them, why white men approve of them, why they don't approve of them, just all this stuff. Point blank, let me just start with saying this. Do you, boo-boo. Do you, okay? Just do whatever the fuck you want to do, okay? Excuse me, I was about to be all delicate, but just do whatever you want to do, all right? And it's your life, okay? It's your life. Now, on my conscious journey, you know, I was going through some, you know, rocky roads of like, what should I, you know, what's the right thing to do? Now, as you can see, I'm rocking a bun. This is my hair. It may not, some of you may not believe it, but I use one of them little hot bun things, you know, simple as that. Roll my my hair around it, bam, got a cute little bun. All right, so you know, once you really learn how to do your hair, natural hair, you realize there's a lot of styles, like, and things that you can do your hair. Not saying that I never did my natural hair, but you know, I was a wig wearer, and you know, then I turned to start wearing weaves. But I guess I just really didn't want to do the work, you know what I mean? And also, I really didn't feel like I had a lot of options and I could do a lot. But you know, once I started seeing all the Africans, you know, knowing about my history, you know, I'm like, oh, that's hot, you know. Man, them coils and everything, them naps as they call it, like, they really take care of business. Okay, so with that being said, wigs and weaves. Now, let me tell you something really quick. I used to feel like wearing it was bad. Even my mother had something to say, because she knows I'm a conscious person. I'm always correcting stuff, and I'm always saying, well, this. So one day she decided, you know, we were walking by, I was like, well, you know, that's why you have to be natural and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And she was like, oh, yeah, I do, and grabbed my ponytail, right? And my ponytail, you know, it's big curly ponytail, you know, it was wavy, stuff like that. And it was just like one of those clip-on things. And I was just like, what? Just because I wear this doesn't mean, you know, that, doesn't mean that I'm still not, what I'm saying is not valid, you know what I mean? So, now, pause on that. So some people, you know, that may be watching might feel like, oh, if you're really conscious, then you don't wear wigs and weaves, blah, blah, blah. Now, I was going down that path just recently, actually, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm done with the wigs and weaves. Now that I've seen my ancestors and how they wear their hair and how they did this, and you know, I'm a more conscious individual, and also I'm aware that my hair is an antenna, and you know, my hair, I give out pheromones in my skull, in the top of my skull and everything, and I'm able to project those pheromones to attract what I want and makes my reality more possible, my thoughts more possible to manifest in my reality, as well as find a mate, the appropriate mate that I'm looking for. So you know, I just decided like being natural was the way to go. You know, even though I was always, you know, more of a natural individual, I started wearing weaves more, even though I never really did it. I was always a wig girl. So yeah, so I just figured being natural was the way to go. But upon, you know, doing your own research and just realizing, like, you know, some people, some of my conscious people may feel like, no, you don't wear weaves, and you know, this is European standard and blah, blah, blah. Now, with that being said, that is correct. Like right now in the society we are in, we are appeasing to European standards. Hold on one second, sorry. Not sorry, excuse me. So we are appeasing to European standards, right? So since we're doing that, you know, majority of the time we're like, majority of us are doing that. That doesn't mean that wigs and weaves are wrong. I believe that the stigma behind it is the misinformation. So now we go back to ancient Egyptian times in the 17th and 18th dynasty. We go back to Queen Kia, right? Queen Kia, who was the wife, one of the wives of Pharaoh, I'll say Ak, because his name, you know, is AKJ, is some letters, and I don't want to slaughter it, you know, so I don't want to mess somebody's name. So Pharaoh Ak, she was one of his many wives, right? So she was called the most beloved wife. She was the house of the favorite. That's what her name meant. So she was the most beloved, like, you know, like the favorite wife. So this wife, Queen Kia, wore wigs, right? So actually, she wore her hair in coils. She wore her natural hair. Then she created wigs based off her hair, right? So then she had wigs on that grew in popularity. Then the civilization of people started mimicking that style and wearing wigs. And then further later down the road, Queen Nefertiti, who was also married to Pharaoh Ak at a period of time during this polygamy marriage, right? Then she later married Ramses II, but she was also was fond of this wig hairstyle, where she adopted the hairstyle as well and made it even bigger. And so, you know, that style you see with Queen Nefertiti, and she had, you know, her like kind of bangs and like long, kind of this smooth down. That's a wig, you know, that was her, like her crown. You know, she wore that often, everywhere. So that represented your elite status, and your beauty was neat and well kept. It represented who you are. So wigs is something that we've been doing, you know, and weaves are something that we've been doing, and braids and protective styles is something that we've been doing, you know. So stop hating, like just stop hating. Now the thing about it is that I think that men don't like, and they keep saying things like oh, well, you wear weaves, your hair's fake, blah blah, is that what I think you don't like is what they're subscribing to. Like the difference between the ancient Egyptian times and that era, that 17th, 18th dynasty, is that when they were wearing wigs and weaves and extensions, they were similar to their own hair. Now they were also, yes, using animals and things like that. So that was something that they already did, but they were it was always similar to their own hair texture and style, blending in with their hair. So what I think that men really don't, since they're not informed now, like if you really think about it now, since you know that your ancestors even wore wigs and weaves, and this is just something that represents beauty and versatility and femininity, and you know, the crown and the elite and the gorgeousness, you know, since you now know that, what I think that you just remember and you think about is that wigs and weaves have a bad reputation behind being used from, you know, for profit by the Chinese. You know, they reap benefits from the black community and their effort into buying wigs and weaves. Lots of people who do not volunteer to donate their hair, you know, like there's people that get their hair chopped off in like India and Brazil and those areas where they do not volunteer. You know, these, you know, they just they kind of like are slaves to that system where they're selling their hair, or they're giving their hair is taken. So some of them sell their hair for money because they have nothing, they have no money or anything, and they know that hair sells, hair makes money. So I think that that's also the stigma to it, and also as well as the society that we're in, we're subscribing to European standards, or most black women were brainwashed and manipulated and forced to be seen a certain way, and that way would represent beauty, such as, you know, straight hair. It started with that first. Madam C.J. Walker, I mean, you know, I love that she did what she did. She created a great staple, but she did it not really. She did it really to our detriment, in my opinion, because it was for them, their benefit, and our detriment. It was for their benefit. It was to change us, so we had to adapt. You know, so that was where she got the inspiration from, and I feel like that's sad, but it had to be done to make a staple in history, so we can look back and think on it. But you know, where are we now, really? You know what I mean? But anyway, so you know, yeah, like that's something that the black women in this society had to do, and now over generations and generations of time, and this is what it looks like, this is what beauty is, these are the standards. What do you expect? Like, what do you expect? You know what I mean? Like, that's how it's going to be. They're going to be that way. And one, this is already in our spirit. You know, we already wear wigs and weaves, but the society that we're in now, the day and age we're in now, with the powers that be, the white elites and supremacists, that supreme mindset, they choose this idea of beauty as the standard. You know, the blonde hair, blue eyes, blondes just want to have fun. You know, Marilyn Monroe, blonde bombshells, legally blonde. I mean, that's what they feel like, because they feel like that's the pure, you know what I mean? Like, that's the purest of the pure. So this is something that black women were programmed and brainwashed to adapt to adopt, and believe that this is their natural state. And not saying that black people don't have blonde hair and everything and blue eyes, because they of course do, but this gradually happened over a period of time. And the point is that you know that is not your natural hair color. If you do dye it, you know that is not your natural hair color. Not saying that there's nothing wrong with coloring your hair. I've of course done that before. I was at a point in my life where I felt like I had to color my hair. Like I couldn't wear my hair without color in it. Like I'm like literally like the wigs, whatever weaves I had, it had to have color in it. Like just a little bit. It could be a little strand. Even the curly wig that I had could be a little strand. And that's another thing. Bring back to my point with my mother. Is that the wigs or the clips, if I wear a clip of a ponytail, it's similar to my hair. It's similar to my hair. I don't subscribe or try to appear as something that I'm not. I still, if I take this ponytail off, I'll still look like me, not like I look like Marlon Wayans and Shawn Wayans off White Chicks. You know what I mean? Like I'm still gonna look like a black woman, you know? Like I'm not gonna look like an entirely different person. Like I could do that, but why would I want to do that? I just want to be me. I just want to be my natural organic self. So I believe that that's where the stigma comes from with the wigs and weaves, is that men don't like that you're trying to look like something that you're not. You know, if I'm wrong, correct me, fellas. But I know that's not it entirely, but that has something to do with it. Is that your hair isn't straight like that, your hair isn't blonde like that, your hair doesn't stay like in that texture or form and everything like that. Like, why are you trying to meet with their standards? And men usually say things like, oh, we like natural women. They say it, but I'm gonna get to the men in a moment. I'm gonna get to them in a moment. But yeah, so I feel like if you want to wear a wig and a weave, wear the wig and a weave. Like, wear it. I'm choosing to be more natural now because I'm noticing that the more I wear my hair out naturally, because I wear my hair naturally. Like I like to get braids, I like to get extensions in, and sometimes I wear the ponytails in the back. But now that when I just wear it natural and out or like this, the environment is different. Like, excuse me, I feel lighter. Like I feel less stressed out, and I feel like the energy is different. People approach me different, and they treat me differently, and they communicate with me differently. I was always powerful, but I think I was channeling it differently. Now it's like I'm vibrating on a higher level. It's like, because I'm natural, I'm blending in with the universe. I'm blending in with nature and the environment. I'm part of it. So now that I'm part of it, it's recognized, it's felt, it's in the energy, it's in my aura, So I've noticed that my communication with people are different, is different now, versus before, versus when I was a weave and wig wearer and all these things, and put like all this fake hair in my head and everything. And I was much feistier, like I had to do that, but I was much feistier, but now, also things come with time. You get older and everything. But I'm just saying that that I know that plays a part, because you don't know what hair you're getting. You don't know whose energy it belongs to. It's an animal's hair. You wonder why you acting like an animal out here doing animal things. Is because you got some animal hair on your head. So I mean, energy. Everything has energy. Everything has a source attached to it. And all them hands that be on it when it's processed and stuff, that just get some like fake or like natural or something good hair. Just research it or something. I don't know, just go. It can be synthetic, but just make sure it's from a good strand of something that's like recyclable and natural, and then you get it from a if you're black like myself, you donate your monies to your people, the black community. Make sure get that African stuff, and look it up and make sure the money goes back to them, instead of the Asians that you all complain about that are reaping off the weave and wig business that you keep giving money to, and you keep complaining that why the Asians stay together, why they link up together, why is there liquor stores in every corner, why is there beauty supplies in every corner, is the Asians in there, why they follow me around. Like, stop giving them money, stop giving them money then. Like, you stop buying their weaves. Like, you love their hair. Now, with that being said, where do wigs and weaves do you think? Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about was, this might be a little sensitive to some people, but why do some black men, I don't know, or anyone at least, white men, everyone, why make people think, or why do people possibly think black women get upset when we see black men with a white woman. Why, like, you know, it seems like they think, like, they don't understand why we get upset. They're just like, we're all one race and I love her and this is, you know, this is my wife and she understands me and she'll always be there for me. But, you know, first of all, let me just say this. Love is love. Love is love. Love who you want to love. Love who you want to love. Love who you want to love. But, don't be mad at my opinion. Like, don't be mad at my opinion. Don't be mad at how I feel about the situation. And don't project on me, like, you know, my background and my history and bring up all your insecurities on me or whatever, and your feelings for things that I'm going to say, okay? You know, because you don't know, you know, what I've done in my life or whatever, but we all learn from our mistakes, all right? And I wouldn't be able to give you this knowledge if I hadn't experienced things and as well as been where you are now. So, and then I grow and I evolve and I change and I learn and from my mistakes and my mistakes and my authentic self, and then I relay that information to you like, hey, this is, don't go this way, go this way because I went this way and it's a dead end. Okay, so all right, like, we're keeping it trill here. But all right, so black men, why do you think we're mad? Why do you think we're mad when we see you with a white woman, like, right? And white women, you know, why, you know, may not understand why we're mad when we see y'all with, we see our black men with a white woman. Well, let me just break it down for you. At least my opinion. Like, you know, I'm not saying all black women feel this way, you know, but let me just say that your feelings are not you. But and only in certain circumstances. In this circumstance, the evidence outweighs your feelings. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. So let's just get to the nitty gritty. The nitty gritty is, it all starts with spiritual trauma. Now, just like I said about Queen Kia and Queen Nefertiti wearing wigs, and so that's just something that we've adopted, and that's just something that we do. It's just like this is spiritual trauma. Okay, so when a black woman like myself, all right, and I've dated white men, all right, so shocker, okay, I've dated white men. I used to be all up in the white boys, but also that's because of my standard, my belief of the societal standard of what beauty was and what I believe I wanted and everything. Not saying that there isn't any white men that, you know, aren't genuine and I couldn't want them, because like I was gonna say in a second, black women, ancient Egyptian women used to choose white men back then. Before there were colors and everything, there were just empires and others and tribes. They used to choose the white men too. Before then things became racist and prejudice and everything. They used to choose them. They would choose who was stronger, wiser, and things like that. And if it was white, he was white, right? So, but then the whole racism and divide came about, and this came from Greeks and Romans who overrode and conquered Egypt during the reign of Cleopatra in 30 BC. So and all this came about, I'm gonna give you the short version of it. All this came about because after they banished the Jews and the whites from Egypt, right? After they banished them, they kept the women. We're talking about the pharaohs and everything, right? They kept their women. So since they kept their women, they started, you know, copulating with them and having children. The children became, you know, pharaohs because you are your mother's child. So, you know, when you have you became pharaoh when you're your mother's child. So they're in reign. These biracial children are running, you know, they're running a whole civilization. Now, since these generations have already gone by after the banishing, right? These biracial pharaohs were like, hey, fuck it, elders, you're not bringing my other side of the family in here. You know, I want to see my family. I want to be with my family or whatever. Blah blah blah. You allow them to come in. So once they allowed them to come in, you know, whites, the Greeks, Romans were able to take over after that. But once they were allowed to come in, they started fucking up the place and just basically desecrating it, disrespecting it, and just that was to me the cataclysm of the fall of ancient Egypt. You know, because that one split decision that pretty much destroyed everything, and that decision was to allow the white women to stay, the lighter women, okay, and choose them, because this is what the kings did. They chose them. They were like, oh, we want the women. They chose them over the queens of the Nubian queens and princesses of that time. They were like, let's allow them to stay, but banish everyone else. And because that decision, this ripple effect happened. So that destroyed everything. And later on, you know, the Greeks and Romans took over from their involvement in working with Alexander the Great and the Persians. It is just like it was a mess, all because of that one decision to choose these women. So fast forward to these days, this divide started happening once the Greeks and the Romans started taking over Egypt and running into civilization. We were doing perfectly fine before that. We were running the civilization fine for millennia. Like, you know, we had people, we had slaves, and not the way that y'all think that slaves are, okay? Slavery then was different from slavery, from what we know as slavery today, okay? Excuse me. Just like when you see the movies and you see that, because I really can't stand that the black soul blacks thing. Like, I'm not even, you know, going there right now, but the point is that that's not entirely the case, and that's not entirely correct. So just like you see in the movies in Egypt, where the slaves, you see all the people laying around and they're just having sex or in an orgy, or they're eating fruit or feeding fruit or fanning them and stuff like that, and they have on nice garments, and you know they have on like the covered faces with the shimmer and everything. Those are slaves. Those are slaves. Those slaves are taken care of. They even have it in their ancient text where it says, and I'm paraphrasing here, we are the masters of the slave, but we are not the baggage of the slaves. Like that we are not the slave's burden. We are not hurting the slaves. That just already goes to show you, like, we're not hurting the slaves. We're not doing things to the slaves. We treat our slaves good. So that's everything was going good in that time. Like we was getting workers, we getting our pyramids built, we were fine. But then once we did that, kept the women, okay, and since that decision had the offspring, those offspring made the decision to allow the mother side of the family to come in, and once they came in, everything just messed up. So now fast forward to when they started making the rules and the division of racism, the Greeks and Romans decided, hey, okay, now with that being said, now that we're in control, you can't touch any of our white women, okay? This is the epitome of beauty. This is what beauty really is, and you can't touch any, you can't even look at them. And that still went on until transatlantic slavery, right? Slave trade. The laws of this, when it became laws, like, don't look at the woman, don't look this, and you get murdered or you get killed or, you know, hung or anything like that, like Emmett Till, you know what I mean? And then we found out later on she lied. She said that he never even whistled or said anything to her. She admitted to lying, y'all. So with that being said, these are reasons why we get upset. One, because of that spiritual trauma. Our ancestors are speaking through us, okay? The black woman is God, is goddess. All right, she is Earth. She is Mother Earth. I am Mother Earth. We are the oldest living soul on the earth because we are the original. We were here first. You know, we had to birth the man, right? So we were here. That's why women are actually black women are actually the most intelligent human and intelligent being on the planet, because we are the oldest being on the planet. Every one of us have that soul in us of Mother Earth, right? So that's why we have the natural intelligence, and why you all think that we're nagging and we're telling you what to do is because we want better for you, because we know that you deserve better and you can get better. But this comes from spiritual trauma, you know, of our ancestors. Our ancestors speak to us and they're like, no, we don't fuck with that. We don't do this. Yeah, they might have agreed with it before, but after history happened, after all of this chaos and chaotic a period of history happened, things change, okay? So now that now if you don't know your history and you're real ignorant or whatever, and you don't know it, which I don't know how you possibly could, because we all at least know about slavery. Like, we can't talk about interracial relationships and why and not talk about slavery, all right? And there's no, oh, just let it go, it happened this many years ago. First of all, it didn't happen, didn't end that long ago. It was like, 50, 60 years ago. So I don't even know, like, that's not that long. So great grandparents remember when their parents or grandparents were like, telling stories about when they were slaves or whatever. But yeah, it's no letting it go and just let it go. It's in our spirit, it's in our soul. Just like y'all don't let stuff go, and you don't say tell the Jews to let the Holocaust go. Like, you don't tell them let that go. But when you speak to black women, we the ones that let it go. Y'all always want us to be the sensitive mothers, and the black people, you want all black people to be all sensitive and just let it go, because you know that we have the power and the control, and if we let it go, it won't matter anymore. And I'll never let it go, because I'm always going to speak for my ancestors and make it matter. So my ancestors just channel through me, I'm that antenna. So they just, so I have to say stuff. That's why I have to say everything. Like, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna feel a certain type of way that, but do I have a problem with it? No, because what you do is your business. Do I agree with it? Really? Not really. Did I before? Yes. But that's because I was, more ignorant. And even though I knew about slavery, I guess I just really was on that whole train of, we're all one race, the human race, and we all love each other. Okay, well, if that is true, okay, why are we not at the same level? Like, why are we still not at the same level after all of these years and all of this torment, between the tension between the black people and the white people? We have like this love-hate relationship, like this like dark tango dance that we're doing with each other. And I also think that has something to do with it, because of the unforbidden passion that black men had, because they were this part of their spiritual trauma too, since they were told not to look at them, and their ancestors speak to them, so speak through them. So they're acting out through their ancestors. They're acting it out for their ancestors. They were told not to look at them. They were told not to touch them. They were told, don't be with them, or we're going to kill you. This is what we're willing to kill people and your family over these white women. And y'all, like, that's what they're doing. They know that their ancestors died, bled, got lied on, got hung, all that type of stuff. They know this, and they still choose to be with white women. So now, if you were ignorant before, like I said, and you didn't know this in detail, or you just chose to ignore it, and you just chose to be on that train of we're all one race trip, that's on you. Continue to live in that material world if you want to. Continue to vibrate at that level of that material world, and ignore your ancestors, and ignore where you came from. That's you. But also remember this. Now, what also upsets us, that when you are with a white woman, you are subscribing not only to her, but to her whole belief system. Like, you can't say that you're not, okay? Especially if you marry one. You're subscribing to her belief system, her background, her family, her ancestors. You're accepting everything that she represents, and her past, and everything, where she came from, and all that shit. You're saying, I agree with that shit. It's all good. Or even if you don't, I may not agree with it, but I'll still marry him. But your ancestors died, off this shit. Like, you're like, how can you be, that's that question of, how can you be pro-black and date a white woman, or can you be pro-black and date a white woman? Not to my belief, not to my understanding, because you're pro-black, which means that you're pro. It's like you do this, like you're for it, you're good at it, pro in every aspect. You're for it, you're with it, you're professional with it. It. This is what you practice in your life. It's your before and after. Is your everything. This is what you talk about. And to me, that just seems hypocritical, And it's one thing to be woke or conscious, and then that's why it's another thing not to do shit about it. Like, that's why they have the saying, practice what you preach. Practice what you preach. Like, how can you just be saying I'm this and that and pro-black, and then go get you a white woman. And that upsets black women too. Like when we see these hypocrites or these brothers say that they pro this, they pro back, they love black women, then they go get them a white woman, or they go get them a light woman. Okay? Or they go get them a light woman. All right? So because they're still trying to meet the standard of beauty and societal belief of European standard that they're trying to meet, that they don't see that this is self-hate. You know, this you're self-hating yourself. All right, you're brainwashed. Okay, if you know your history, then you wouldn't feel this way. I mean, at least that's how I felt once I realized, you know, once I really dug into where I came from and who I am, I realized, wow, like I need to be putting my efforts in my community. Okay, so like I said, if you are married or with the white woman, you subscribe to her belief, you subscribe to her community and who she is as a person and what she represents, all of that. If you talk about you so woke, and you talk about how, you know, you black people, you know, we need to do this, we need to do better with that. If you talk about how you so woke, right? What are you doing for the community? What are you doing for the community? Okay? Like, what are you really doing? Is being with a white woman doing something for community? And don't tell me you're out here doing stuff. No, your energy and effort and your upliftment is going to that white woman. You're putting your upliftment and your motivation and your energy in someone who in society doesn't need that as much as we do. Doesn't need that as much as the black woman needs that. We need that. You should be showing us that love. We're the mother, we're the original, but we're the most disrespected and the most misunderstood being on this planet Earth. And you all enable that. You know, you contribute to that by dating white women. Okay, you contribute. Like we'll see our favorite celebrity talk about, I love black women and I do this and that, and then we'll go Google him and he got a white girlfriend, or he dating some fake plastic like Kim Kardashian looking chick. You know, like this is stuff that, like, this is what you all want. You know, this is what you say you want, and then when we show you something different or whatever, something authentic and genuine, it's not good enough for you. But that's not how all of them are. That's not how all men are, at least not the grown men, just the boys. The boys act like that. But that just brings me back to how this is just all psychological warfare and enslavement of the mind. Okay, to keep the black community at a low vibrative level. Excuse me. So that upsets us. That upsets us, black men. The spiritual trauma that we have with our ancestors, the fact that you should be aware of your history, where you came from, and you still choose to subscribe to this woman's beliefs, her parents' beliefs, where her parents came from. You choose to do that. Okay, you know, I was with someone who had like an on and off again girlfriend, and she was white. And she dated black guys. She had, like, you know, she had kids, I believe, and they were biracial. But I knew this guy for over 10 years, and I was foolishly involved with this guy, right? Foolishly. So I knew him for 10 years now. Over 10 years now. He already did a lot of foul things to me, right? And I'm not talking physically abusive or whatever. I'm talking about mentally. He never was mentally abusive, but he just, by mentally hurting me, doing things to me I wouldn't say cheating, but choosing this white girl over me. So it would be like back and forth. Now I'm not saying that's like I'm traumatized from it or whatever. Because I wake up from it now. Now I really don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, it is, because I wouldn't even think about it back then. When I would talk to him on the phone, he would be like this, and I would be like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. I used to care, and then when it was just like a game with him, not just with white women, but just with other women, I was just like, whatever, fuck it, I don't care. I just started looking at him like, a friend that was just wow, like, you know what I mean? He was just a guy I knew for a long time, and so he was like a guy I knew who I had an intimate relationship with at one period of time for a while, and then it just ended, and he just became like a friend, and he was just crazy. So, but during that time when we were intimate with each other, he you know, was already a player, but he would choose, you know, in the last period of us being intimate with each other, he would pick this white woman, right? He would pick this white woman on me, but he would always come to me, like come over my house, or, you know, come fool around with me or whatever. And then he would break up with her and be like, oh, I don't want to be with her anymore, I need to leave her alone. And he would talk bad about her, all this stuff. Like, he would vent this shit to me, then go back and lay up with her, then get back with her, and then call me and be like, I'm back with her, and, you know I just really did make it work. But, and then he would try to, you know, a week later argue with her, come on to me. Now, he would talk about how she would do this and lie on him and say all these type of things. It's just like, it just sounded like a bunch of drama. Like, this is the shit. Like, it's nowhere y'all gonna go where you're not gonna get drama if you don't know how to start with the inner first of all. Second of all, start with the black woman, the original woman, okay? If you can't handle the challenge of the black woman, you can't be with any woman, all right? Because we're the original, we're the goddess, we're the natural, all right? We're the authentic, so we're the natural intelligence. So if you think we're nagging on shit, it's because you need to get your shit together. That's like why. You need to get your shit together, okay? So I'm gonna touch base on that more in a minute, but black women, you know, some of them may not give a fuck. Like, seriously, like, you know, some of them really may not care, because like I said, some of them may be on that we're all one race train, or some of them may like fucking with white boys, or some of them just may really like that's neither here nor there with me. Excuse me, that's all well and good, but this seems to be a topic that people are just so curious about why we get upset. And like I said, it's because of spiritual trauma, okay? Your ancestors speak through you. You have DNA and genetic PTSD. You know, like, this is stuff that you experience. You wonder why you got all this anxiety and certain shit happen to you. Find out where you came from. Like, you know, this shit is speaking through you. The black men are getting spoke through with their ancestors, like, yeah, now I can, you know what I'm saying, get up in this white girl through my descendant. You know what I'm saying? Because they was trying to forbid me before. Like, it's just, it's in your mind, you know, it's in your mind. But once you become more aware and more conscious, you realize that my efforts, my energy, my love needs to go in the black woman. It really does. It needs to go into the black woman, fellas. Well, you know, which brings me to my next point, and these go hand in hand. The black male and female divide. Now, there's a divide, okay, between the black and the male and the black female. This divide is detrimental, right? This divide is detrimental. It's detrimental because the Holy Trinity was originally man, woman, and child, you know, and that was us. All right, so now we all know the agenda. I'm not even gonna get on the agenda, like even before with why black women get upset with white women. I didn't even touch base on the scientific reasons behind it, why it's different, and the genetic reasons. But I just touched base on the psychological, right? So we're just keeping it all psychological here. Now, with the male and female divide, is detrimental, like, and I feel like a lot of that contributes to the brainwashing and the programming of today's society. Now, black men, okay, and this is not an attack on you, and this is not an attack on black women. I'm touching base on both of you, because y'all my people, and the only way we get better is if we get checked. All right, so black men. Now, I mean, y'all, a lot of y'all are disrespectful. I mean, just disrespectful to the black woman, and that is the God. Tupac even told you, we all came from a black woman. You know, y'all treating the black women like y'all don't know where you came from, and you may not, but you need to get familiar, because y'all are disrespecting us and using us, and then you go get someone that is nothing like what you say that you enjoy, right? So like in music today, you know, you say, oh, this girl's a hoe or whatever, she a hoe, that girl's a hoe, whatever. But then you go listen to music where it's like, twerk that shit, hoe, shake that bitch, hoe, da 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 da, hoe. Like, and then you in the club like, yeah, hoe, yeah, hoe. And then you fucking what you think are hoes, girls that you think are. And so it's like you're just enabling this behavior. Like, why don't you uplift the women? You know, why are you being contradictory to what you say? Like, how can you be like, oh, you a hoe, you a hoe, you a hoe, and then go indulge in some hoes? You know, like how, like, I mean, I know we all have our vices and all stuff, but don't be so vocal about how you feel and then, you know, act on the shit. Like, if you want to be conscious, right, which we all should be striving for, if you want to be enlightened, why don't you listen to some uplifting music and change your mindset? Like, you keep thinking that you attracting hoes, you seeing hoes everywhere because you think you seeing hoes everywhere. It's like you want to see hoes everywhere. The music you listen to, and then you mad at black women, you hate black women and all that, and you just see how they acting. I saw this video, y'all. I don't know what that girl's name is, but it's some white girl. She be twerking. And aside from the video of her appropriating with the protective style, going to Africa and using the villagers as props, aside from her doing that, she had another video of her twerking on top of like some building, right? It was like a high building, right? She was twerking on top of it. Now, in the comments, all the dudes was going wild and crazy. I'm part of this group, right? Shout out to Men versus Women on Facebook. So all the dudes were going crazy on the post, and you know, they were like, yeah, you know, and I was just thinking, like, because they were like, yeah, this is so hot, this. So I was just, so some women were saying things like, oh, see, but if a black woman does this, it's a problem, blah, blah, blah. So the next thing you know, the black men and some of the white men and all that were like, girl, shut up, or oh, bitch, shut up, or leave it alone. Like, this is how y'all treat us. This is how y'all treat us for trying to, like, address your hypocrisy. You know, like. First of all, twerking came from Africa. That's something that we've been doing. That's something that we do, all right? Like, that's the first thing, okay? So we created that, we invented it, and y'all use it to our detriment. The white people, now you got classes on twerking. Like, now you're trying to teach something that you didn't even create, as usual and shit, as usual. But now you have classes on twerking. But when we do it, it's unkept and unclassy and it's ratchet and shit. Remember when that shit was like ratchet? Before all the white women had classes on twerking, right? And it started off with the stripper pole classes. Like, it would, like, twerking with all that, once twerking really started coming out, it was ratchet. Like, that's what they kept telling us we were ratchet and all that. And I'm talking about in America, like, not the type of twerking like in Africa we've been doing, but I'm talking about the American twerking to this music, to this surrounding of environment and society that people, you know, have this closed-minded viewpoint about. So that was seen as ratchet, like, oh, bitch, you ratchet, and like all that, right? So now that the black men, you know, I saw a lot of black men saying things like, oh, bitch, you're ratchet and you're all this and that, but you want us in your videos. You know what I mean? Like, you want us in your videos and you want us to twerk something on a Tuesday, but you want to give Becky breakfast in bed on a Sunday, you know? And it's like, they were just like disrespectful to the women, trying to show you exactly what the problem is, you know, just trying to be vocal and show you what the problem is. And they were acting like this shit was art. Like, she was like, first of all, some white women can twerk. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, some white women can do it, but let me tell you what the difference is. All right, they can't master it. Okay, first of all, their shit is too strategic and organized. It looked like they're taking a class. Like, you know what I mean? It looks like they took a class. Like, it doesn't look natural and authentic like we know how to twerk something. Like, it just looks like you took a class, you know? So just keep taking those classes, all right? But just know that you'll never do it like we do, and it just is what it is on that point. Just, you know, do your dances and you know, do whatever y'all be doing. But yeah, so they were acting like the shit was art. Like, what? Like, if she does it, it's art. If I do it, it's ratchet. And, you know, it's funny to me because white women, they don't want to be associated with ratchet and all that stuff. They don't want to be associated with that stuff. Like, so they just be like, oh, you know, this is a class and this is art and this is a form. They trying to use it and manipulate it in a different way. And you black men enable it, and you're like, yeah, they're like, yeah, it looks so good, yeah, it looks so good. But let me turn on some fucking you know, Gucci Man or whatever and shit, or whoever you like to listen to, the Migos and shit. Let me turn on one of their videos and see big booty chicks shaking their booties all over the place. Then it's nasty and dirty and ratchet and ghetto and shit. Like, why do y'all hate each other so much? Like, why do you hate us so fucking much? Like, who hurt you? Why do you hate us so much? Like, was it your mama? You know, because what do you want us to do? Like, this is all, you're enabling this behavior. You know, you can't just be like, oh, this is ratchet and all that shit, and then like it when somebody else does it, and it looks, and because of brainwashing standards, and then like take all of your insecurities and hatred out on black women. Like, why are you picking us? Why are you picking on us, you know? Like, what for? Like, we should be uplifting each other, okay? Like I said before, with putting your energy into the black community, because we need it the most. We need the upliftment the most. We're the ones that have been going through all the struggle and the disrespect and the challenges and shit like that. And you wonder why we're upset and feisty and like, nigga, nah, because we're hurt. Damn, heal us. We be fucking healing y'all. We heal y'all and help y'all and help you grow and get you to where you need to be and try to make you better and teach you and cater you and take care of you and shit like that, and be like, you know, you should do this or you can do it and all that. We're like supporting you and all that, and then you fucking grow and get better and you leave us for a white woman. Like that, how is that not upsetting? How is that not upsetting? Why does it always seem like we're being used, you know? Like black men, what's up with that? Why does it always seem like we're being used? Because you say one thing but your actions prove another way, okay? Or not only do you just want the white woman, you want a standard like of light skin. Why do you want just light skin? Like, I only date light skinned women. Why is that your preference? Like, you know, people are like, oh, they have their preferences, but why is that your preference? Why is the skin color your preference? Like, no, people can't just peel their skin off just to please you, you know what I mean? Like, you're limiting yourself to so many different types of people, right? So, you know, practice what you preach. Practice what you preach. You know, don't look at a video like you see them videos of I saw a video. It was a fight between a white girl and a black girl, and the cops came and they were breaking them apart, and the one cop, it was two cops, the one cop grabbed the black girl, just, you know, grabbed her like, you know, real rough, slammed her to the ground, pepper sprayed her. The other cop is pulling the white girl back like, you know, come on, very gentle, like, and she's like, yeah, bitch, that's what. And then they both turned their attention, the cops both turned attention to the black girl. The white girl walked away. The white girl walked away, and they're on the ground banging the black girl's head in the ground and pepper spraying her, and the white girl walked away from the fight. Why the fuck didn't they pepper spray them both? Why didn't they get disarm, you know, slam them both and shit? But no, that's the shit that we get to see. That's the stuff we get to see all the time, and then you all see this stuff, and you still choose to say, I'm okay with that. I'm still gonna fuck this white girl. Like, I'm okay with that. Whoever you fuck is who you fuck. Like, you know what I mean? If you fooling around and you want to be a thing, whatever. But once you start like giving your time, energy, and effort into that community that doesn't really need it as much as your community does, that's when there's a problem. That's when there's a problem. So practice what you preach, black men. Don't just, you know, dog us out and then do something else. Don't just like listen to this music and then talk about this, you know, like, oh yeah, shake that shit, oh yeah, bitch, and then be out here wondering why you meeting so many bitches, or be like, women ain't shit and all that, and why you damaged and all that stuff because you listening to this music and you think this shit's okay. Like, you're and you wonder why you like seeing all these women. You're like, this she's a hoe, she's a bitch. Stop subscribing to that music. Stop fucking watching so much TV and doing all that. Meet a genuine woman and actually get to know her and educate yourself on her and her mind and who she is as a person, okay? So uplift and practice what you preach. And black women, I'm not, you know, hey, the black men ain't the only ones contributing, okay? It's us too. It's y'all too, all right? How about you try to be more approachable? How about that? Okay? How about that? When a man comes up to you, okay, a black man, and he want to talk to you, you know, and he, you know, men don't know what the fuck to say because women, we got so many hang-ups, we don't even know how to be approached. And it depends on the mood and the time of day or whatever. And you know, you got to get us at the right moment, all right? So, you know, they don't know what to say, because they don't know if they're going to offend you or anything, or they don't know if you're going to get mad. They don't know. So why don't you try to be more approachable? You know, if they say something like, hey, I just want you to know I think you're very beautiful and I want to get to know you, and just wondering if I could take you out, blah blah blah. You know, you don't have to be, you know, if you're not interested, it's no need to be like, oh no, or you know, or this, or trying to read him, or trying to do it like, oh, you have some money, or do you have money, or where are we gonna go, or all this stuff, or even if you're not interested, it's no need to be mean. Or even if he didn't even get the chance to say that, you know, or if he didn't even get the chance to speak to you. If a man is trying to approach you, okay, or see you or look at you, you don't gotta be all like, or you know, just all the extra shit. Like, how does that help us? How does that help men's idea of black women? Like, you know, I mean, I used to be that way. I used to be a little standoffish and not approachable, and that's my feisty nature. You know, I've also, you know, had my own baggage and issues and, you know, insecurities and all that other stuff before I evolved more and grew and became more enlightened. Excuse me. So all that played a part in how I, you know, treated others. So I used to do that same thing, but that just, you know, I used to just be annoyed. Like I said, you know, we got to get this at the right time, but it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. Now I just take my time to teach that black man, you know, especially the ones that say ignorant things. Okay, so these are the opportunities where we need to uplift each other. Now I have a video on this on my channel from a couple of years ago. It's the video that I had the most views on. It's called Men Can't Handle Rejection. So now, men, I still feel the same way about your rejection handling skills. Ladies though, I'm gonna pass the baton to you right now, because I kind of already gave it to the men before, and I had touched base on you a little bit before. Now ladies, men, it's unnecessary of course to fly off the handle. That already shows your insecurities, that you flew off the handle. Oh, fuck you bitch, da da da. That already shows your insecurity and that your ass is crazy and you have mommy and daddy issues and all types of baggage. So now that the woman knows that, all right, ladies, now that you know that, do not enable the behavior. You do not give bad dogs treats. Do not engage in it. You know, take this opportunity to inspire, uplift, and inform your brother. Okay, so before it even gets to the insults, all right, and the fuck you bitch, and I'm not saying that it's your fault. How do you respond to when you reject him? You know, because I mean, some of them do just fly the fuck off the handle. Like when you say no thank you, I'm not interested. Some of them do fly off and their ass is crazy, and at that point you should just walk away. But some of us are just too much and unnecessary. Like, oh, you think I'm gonna fuck with you? Boy, look at them shoes, and then you ain't got shit. Like, just unnecessary. Okay, unnecessary business. Take the time to educate your brother, okay, by saying things like, oh, I really appreciate that. That's very sweet. But I'm not interested. And they might ask you why. You know, just be like, well, that's neither here nor there. Or you could tell them why in a very loving and caring manner, and just be like, well, you know, I'm just not interested at this moment in my life. I'm actually looking to focus on myself and prosper in my goals, and I need that time to get to where I want to be in my life. But I appreciate your interest, and if I ever see you again, I might take it into consideration. You know, just, and then next thing you know, like, that spreads. That feeling spreads. You know, they'll have that courage and that self-esteem and that motivation to approach another black woman, not thinking that she's just going to give them this feisty fuck you, or, you know, I don't want to deal with you, or you a bomb anyway, or just whatever response men hear from low vibrating women, or women that are short-tempered or just don't want to deal with whatever the fuck they got going on. So just uplift each other, be more informed, help each other out. When you're dealing with your own people, be your best self, be your most positive self. They're your own people. You are affecting yourself. You are looking in the mirror of yourself. It's a ripple effect. So the way that you're portraying how you are to your people is how they'll portray to that's their same people, and it'll come back to you. You know, we have to all of this is about uplifting ourselves and getting to where we need to be. And we need to do that within each other. Like I said, the Holy Trinity was man, woman, and child. And now that we know that there's an agenda against the black community to have this division, to take the black man out of the homes and have the women's raise them solely and feminize the black man. You know, now that we know that this agenda is going on and it exists, let's uplift each other. Let's be here for each other. Let's protect one another. You know, let's start practicing what we preach. That's why we have to start coming together instead of falling apart, you know. And yeah, so stop enabling and black men, stop subscribing to this stuff and assisting with the manipulation and detriment of us, you know, through programming, because of society, because of the powers that be, you know. It's nothing that we can really, we shouldn't have to be alone in this world, raising young kings and queens and everything. We shouldn't have to be alone. We're supposed to be together doing this. And since we know that there's an agenda behind why this is happening, don't assist with that. Don't assist the agenda. Try your best to separate from it. And when you do separate from it and you put your power, your positivity, your energy into your community, it comes back to you. You know, we got to get our own shit together. All right, we can't be worried about everybody else and what they got going on and their issues. And so we got to worry about ourselves and our community and how we can get out of this hole, this ditch that we're in right now. You know, we owe it to our ancestors. We owe it to them to be able to come together and wake up. Okay. So yes, yeah, like the divide between black men and black women, it has to stop. We have to come together. We say we're so woke, we say we understand. Well, let's make sure we act on that. Let's make sure we're more respectful when we're being approached by one another, you know. And let's make sure that we're more respectful when we're speaking to each other online and everything, and we're commenting and we have opinions. Let's just be more respectful of each other, especially if we know what's going on. We see what's going on. We see that we have this hatred towards us, and we see that, you know, in the dark spot that we're in, and how our people are being done still to this day over, you know, thousands of years of enslavement and torture. Then let's just treat each other better. And the more that we focus our energy on our community and that, the more we can get to where we need to be. You know, we take that step, we cause that effect, you know. So let's come together, black men and black women, and let's just cut the bullshit, and let's stop enabling and listen to the bad music and the movies and the shows and having the baggage. And, you know, just because you went through this before with a black man doesn't mean all black men are that way, okay? And black men, you know, you want, just like dating a white woman, you just like dating a white women, black women who date white men, you want a carbon copy. Like, you want a carbon copy of the original. You say that we're ratchet when we twerk and we look like this. You say that our booties are, you know, look like this, or you may think that booty is fake when you see us with a fat ass. But y'all post these pictures of these white women with these that y'all call what do they call? Hoffs or whatever, wags, or like, you know, whatever you call, like, you know, they call those white girls with big butts or whatever. And y'all think that those are real. Y'all think that's real, like, or like white girls got butts too. Like, why are y'all always so quick to defend white women but not yourself or your own mother? You know what I mean? Why are y'all so quick to do that? Y'all disrespect us before you disrespect them or anybody. Like, I just don't get it. Y'all talk about our booties and how we look and how we shaking it, but y'all just feel like this white woman is so beautiful, and this is a carbon copy. This is a copy of us. Y'all talk about our wigs and our weaves and shit like that, how we copying them, and they copying us. They trying to get booties and lips and wear their hair certain protective styles and shit and twerking and all that stuff. And y'all don't want us, and they're literally trying to be like us, doing the same shit that we're doing. But for some reason, you don't see it that way. You don't see it as ratchet or this or that or appropriation. You see it as like, it's just a white girl doing, it's just a girl doing this. Because she's a white girl, and she's doing, and because she's a white girl, you're treating her differently than me over here. Like, that, I don't get that. Like, these women are literally doing the same thing that your sisters are doing, right? That we always been doing. But for us, it's stigma and negativity attached. And it's like, y'all just looking over here, like, you know, that's a carbon copy. That's not even the authentic version. and that's a copy of it. Okay, you down us talking about this bitch fake and she got a fake booty and she do all this and that, but you want the fake version of Becky, the Barbie doll version. You know, you want that fake booty, them fake titties and all that stuff. And it's just because she's white. It can literally be the same thing that they're trying to look like us. And you don't want to even just be with the original, authentic version of what they're trying to look like. Like, but you just want her because she's white. Like, you know? That's the reason you want her. I don't give a fuck if you tell me, oh, I got to know her. And, you know, why did you start talking to her? Like, what made you attracted to her? Like, did you ever really think about that? Not saying that you can't be attracted to white women. Of course you can be attracted to white women. You know, of course you can. But now that we know society's history and everything and the standards and the background, what made you, like, you know, why? Did you question it? Like, knowing, like, the history? Like, did I question what makes me feel like this woman is so beautiful? These standards are so beautiful. Like, did you question where that came from? You know? And y'all don't be enabling that shit. Women, be more approachable. Like, we just got to do better. You know, each one teach one. Let's do better. All right, stop the slander with each other and the disrespect online, all that wild shit. Like, it's just too much. You know, like that. We don't have any. We got to get more black men, fathers in the homes. More women got to be more respectful to the black men. Okay, you know, don't chase them all black men aren't that way. Okay. There's a lot of good ones out here that don't act like that, and y'all women got to get over that stigma too. That just because you're damaged and all that, don't be projecting. And if you're stuck in that cycle, it's because you're stuck in that mindset, and you're gonna manifest your reality. So let all that baggage go and think about finding a good black man, because it's gonna come to you. And then if you go into white men for the wrong reasons, like, oh, I'm gonna get me a white man, he gonna take better care of me, and they do much better, and they just do all this. It's like that you're going for the wrong reasons, first of all. And there's black men that can do that same thing. And I don't like when black women do that, and black men do that when they're with a white woman. Like, white women are more submissive and they're more docile and they can talk, you know, calmer, and they'll be uplifting. We do all that same shit and more, like, all amazing. Once you unlock the box, okay, we're powerful. We make things happen for you. All right. But the bottom line is Becky make shit happen? Okay, and if Becky does make things happen, is she really gonna be there with and for you when it boils down to it? Is she really gonna be there, or is she, you know, if you caught up with the police or something, they looking at you, or is she gonna link up with her people? You know, like, have you really been in a detrimental situation where race plays a factor? You know, and even if you have, she will never understand. She will never understand like the black women will understand, fellas. Same with the black men, ladies. The white man, he would never understand you. You know, my grandma always told me, y'all might think this is fucked up, like, you know, and I don't want to upset any of my white people, you know, but I know in the white families, y'all get told things too about black people. But, you know, black families, I don't know if y'all, you know, had to talk about, you know, with the race talk, you gotta be aware of your history and what you're walking into, what you're living in. My grandma always told me that if you want to date a white man, that's fine. You know, date a white man. Okay? If you want to marry a white man, that's fine. Marry a white man. But know this. One day, no matter how much he loves you or says he loves you, and you have kids, you do all that shit, no matter what, one day, just know that it is a possibility. Just know that this is a possibility. That he will get so mad at you, so mad, he'll call you a nigga to upset you. That's what my grandma told me. That's a consideration you have to think about when you're dealing with somebody. That they have this power to do that to you, to piss you off. Even if they just to get a rise, just to make you mad. Or they know that will make you mad. Or they really think that about you. You know? That's always something that is in the back of your head. Who the fuck wants to even be with something like that? To just be having that aspect or thinking that because your ancestors put that in your mind because of history. You know? Like, who wants to even be thinking of that? And that's what you choose to subscribe to, you know? And maybe that white person isn't like that, but their ancestors are. Okay, so just like that, you have spiritual trauma and genetic DNA and PTSD, you play that out. So do they. They have that same shit. And their trauma is more aggressive based, okay? So, yeah. You know, that's what my grandma always told me, that is definitely a big possibility if you end up dating one. And the opposite race will not understand that. Y'all don't get mad when Chinese people link up with each other. Ethiopians, they stay in their own race, and everybody stays in their own race. But we be the only ones that be falling for this mixed one race shit, okay? And it's just like it's not. I'm not saying the interracial shit is not a good look. It is what it is. Like I said, you do what you want to do, okay? But they won't understand you like your own people. All right, like I said, what my grandma told me. But they, on top of that, they won't understand you like your own people. They may say they understand, they may say they get it, you're hurt, but they'll only understand the surface, not really what it really feels like. They won't understand why you didn't get that job, but their brother applied for that same job and got it, and y'all interviewed the same day. They won't really understand what that feels like. You know, because they won't know the reason. Now, well, maybe this happened, or well, what did you say? You know, like, they won't get that shit. Even if you try to tell them, like, I think it's because I'm black, they'll probably look at you like, they'll probably be looking at you like, but they get in their head like, you know, here we go with the black card, or this makes me uncomfortable. You know, they won't really fully understand because of the history, the pattern, and what the situation that we're in now, what we see and what we're dealing with. You know, so they'll try their best to understand, but they won't really feel it and get it with that ancestral DNA and that spiritual trauma and that knowing what you're going through, that connection, that pain, that experience that we both experience together as brothers and sisters, as kings and queens together, that we are the original and here the longest, you know, and that you know that I'm disrespected and I've been here the longest, and you connect me, you understand me, okay? So we need to make sure we focus on that. And just cut the divide out, and just make sure we put our efforts and our energy back into ourselves, and build our community back up, you know, because we need it right now. We really need it. All right. Now I'm almost done. So that brings me to another thing about male and females, the double standard of sex and relationships and things like that. Why is there a double standard? Now this could be, you know, of course, my black community, because that's who we talk to when we're, you know, feel like we're talking to ourselves. So I'm black, so I talk to my black community, but this goes for any male or female. Now, ladies, stop trying to be on the same level as men, okay? One, we're on a higher level, all right? But stop trying to be on the same level physically as men, okay? We're not on the same level. Now, the whole stigma about slut shaming and you a hoe and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you're probably gonna look like a hoe. Like, if you do all this wild shit and you out here fucking this dude and that dude and all that stuff, I mean, people have every right to think that you're this slang word hoe, okay? But by definition, you know, you're not a garden tool, and unless you're exchanging money based on solely off sex for the benefit of that John, then you're not a prostitute. But if we're talking about slang and, you know, being loose, are you that? Maybe. Are you free? Yeah. So, but just understand it like this. They could think you're a hoe because you're a receiver, all right? You're a woman. Women are the introverts. We're the inner. We receive the energy. Men project the energy, okay? So they're the plus to our mindset. They're the plug to our socket, all right? So we know what this symbol means, all right? So just like a plug, when you put a socket in, it sparks, okay? And you have the power. You're the woman. You have the power. You contain the light. You make the light cut on and go bright, all right? So you have the power, but you cannot have that power and that light cut on without the plug, right? So now, what happens when you put multiple plugs? Like you have a surge protector and you put multiple plugs in and you just plug in a bunch of shit in there. What happens? It fries, right? It just overloads. It just boom. It's just too much energy, okay? So that's similar to you as a plug yourself, as a socket yourself. You're a receiver. So if you're receiving all these plugs and you're taking all this energy, you're bound to explode. You're bound to erupt. And you're wondering why you have all these different feelings and moods and energies towards men and women and your mama and your daddy. It's because you got all this energy from these different men and these different auras inside of you. Okay, so I don't want to make this sound weird, but you know, hoes are kind of identifiable, right? Like we kind of can tell when someone's a hoe. Like, not even just like when you're playing, you're like, oh, you a hoe. Like, we can really tell when someone's genuinely a hoe, right? Like when they're loose, you know, like it could be in their demeanor, the way they act, the way they dress, the certain things they say. But if we're going on physical, you know, they could just be real loosey goosey, you know what I mean? Or attention seeking or inviting. Now, I'm not saying that validates anything. That doesn't mean just go up to them and be like, are you a hoe? You know, of course you talk to them and you investigate and you make your own determination, you know, if you want to take it there. But yeah, so that's usually what we can see. Like, we can see if someone's a hoe. So since you've become identifiable now based off your actions and your energy, that is a negative trait about you. That's a negative trait because you are like receiving so much. You're receiving so many energies. You're receiving so much, you know, plugs, different kinds, different shapes and sizes. Like, you know, and that image affects the mindset of men who put you on a pedestal. Like, the woman is beautiful and natural and soft and feminine and mother and organic and nurturing and, you know, sweet and intellectual and knowledgeable and everything, and grows you and is warm. You know, now you're just like a fucking toilet seat. That's what they imagine you, like a body with a toilet seat head. You know, everybody's just, they just shitting on you. So like, that doesn't, you know, you will never, because of that, ladies, you won't be on that same level. Like, men can do it. Why can men do it, but when women do it, I mean, there's double standards to everything. You know, the nature, if we're going back to the original nature, there was man, women, and child, you know, but that's what it was. That's who you stay with. But then if we go into Egyptian times, you know, men had many wives, okay? Polygamy was a thing, but women didn't have all them husbands like that, right? Because they understood that women were the receivers. All right, we would have meetings amongst each other, women, you know, and men were like we were bearing their children. We didn't need like multiple men for stimulation. We had jobs to do. We only need one. We're satisfied. We have children. We, you know, nurture them. We raise them as kings and queens and everything like that. Like, we don't need all the men. Men are the givers. Okay, so they give their energy, right? So they can give their energy to multiple women. They're one energy. So let's say this man is strong, a warrior, and he's a wise, good man. If he's a wise, good man and he has that energy, he can give that energy to many women. All right, and that's a benefit. All right, that's assisting them. Why would you want all these multiple whack energies and only a few good ones? Like, you're just fucking yourself all up. That's like, you're receiving the energy of the man. So you choose wisely. That's why there's more. That's why women outnumber men. Women outnumber them. Okay? So they always say there's somebody meant for you. There is someone meant for you. But that someone may have someone else. Are you okay with that? You know, like, why are you so mad? You know, if there's an understanding and everybody's protected and good and everybody's good, like, what's the problem? You know, if that man is wise and he's able to contribute to both of you, or however many, you know, and it's all respected, then I see no problem, you know. And y'all want to just be the man. Y'all can't be the man. Y'all not giving energies out. Y'all are receiving them. Y'all are receiving all this stuff. That's why we get pregnant, not the other way around. We're receiving all this stuff. So, ladies, like, you'll never get what you're striving for with the slut shaming and the slut walk. I don't care how many OKs or walks you go on and all that stuff, the mindset will be, that doesn't seem ladylike, you know, or that sounds like prostitution. And you may not care what people think, and that's okay. You don't have to care what people think. And I'm not saying I'm some perfect person, okay? Because I've got down with the got down. Now, I'm not saying that I'm just all out here, like I've been all out here. Ask about me, like, you know what I'm saying? You won't hear shit, okay? So let's just start with there. But it doesn't matter, you know? And that's another thing, like, it's so much stigma about just being yourself. If you want to do your thing, do your thing, okay, ladies? Do your thing. Do what you feel is right for yourself. If you're not harming anyone else, then go ahead and do it. But be honest, you know, and that's another thing, like, ladies and gentlemen, both of y'all, be honest. Just be honest about what you want, who you are, and what you need, you know. And that makes another big problem, I think, with the double standards of men and women. And that men have this idea of women and how they feel like we should be, you know. And it's because we were the rulers, we were the queens, the leaders. Excuse me, men were the warriors, men were the protectors and the fighters. We were the one that, you know, were giving the birth and all that. And if somebody came bust in and it was disrespectful, then we would tell our men, kill him, or do something. Like, we were the bossing them around. That's what we were doing. If you can't be with a black woman, you can't be with any woman. You can't, if you can't handle a queen, if you can't handle us trying to bring you and uplift you and guide you, and wherever we go, you're gonna come with us, and that's to the highest of heights. So if you can't handle that and you want to just stay at this low level, or, you know, whatever, because yeah, it's a low level, fuck it, it's a low level. Because if you're the god and goddess, if you're, you know, the original, then and you're not on that level, then you're at a low level. All right, so yeah, like, there's gonna be the double standard, okay, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be a double standard. Ladies, just give it up, all right? Like I said, I don't care how many walks you go on. I don't care, you know, how many Amber Roses come to your HBCU and tell you to be free with yourself. That's fine, do you, but just know that you have an image to protect. You know, you are a receiver, you have an energy to protect, and if you're loosey goosey, then just be it, but own up to it. And you know, if you are what you are, just say what you are and just accept it. You know what I mean? Just know that you know what a slut is, and when somebody calls you it, be like Amber Rose, just be like, okay, you know, slut walk. This is what it is. I own it, or whatever. But just know that it's not gonna be like accepted or anything. Not as long as you have a vagina. Like, I just don't feel like it will, because, you know, you have this image, and from the spiritual memories, you have this image of ruling civilizations and being so powerful and intelligent, and you are a receiver. You know, you're a plug. You all will break down, we'll fry. You know, we get emotional. Men, it happens to men too, because men are just women without the womb, okay? They were from XX to XY. They were women first and they became men. They're women without the womb, so they're man. So men get emotional as well, but, you know, women, we're already all woman, so we're emotional. We got the XX, that's just what we are, you know, we're women. So we receive, we cater, and you can't be catering and receiving to all these multiple dudes, all right? Putting all your energies in multiple dudes. And y'all be wondering why you're confused, you don't know who the fuck you are, you know, and you don't know why you got all these issues, you're so damn mad, or why you keep going to the same type of dude, or why you keep hating on these chicks. Like, just, you don't know why. And it's because you out here just being wild. You know, so just like slow it down, pump the brakes a little bit, and work on your mindset. You know, you may be acting out something, channeling the energy sexually, and that goes for men too. A lot of the time that we don't know that the way that we channel emotions is through sex. That's because sex is a feeling where it's an enjoyable feeling. It takes things off your mind, okay? It takes away your mind. It's an activity. It's a drug. It's an adrenaline. It's an endorphin. That's why they're sex addicts. You know, that's why people get sad or upset or cry, you know, and they start kissing and they want to have sex. It's like, it's like a numbing, you know, and it's like a gambling or a drug. It's like you can take it whenever, you know, and you can do it to yourself, you know. So sometimes when we don't know how to channel our energy, same, you know, like some people, you know, like with homosexuality or pedophilia or all that, or whatever trauma or whatever, like, you know, thing that you're going through in your life, or molestation. Like some people channel it down certain paths, and one of those paths is sex addiction, or just having a lot of sex, or not even just being addicted to sex, just acting out, you know, searching. You know, like what if you had daddy issues? If you had daddy issues, you're searching for a father figure. Like you may not think of it that way, but your subconscious is 90% of your existence, is in 90% control of your existence. Your subconscious is. So you are not your feelings. You're just like, if you're not as conscious or enlightened, you're running off autopilot. So your subconscious is just acting out, and you don't know why you're doing these things. You know, you just think you're horny and shit all the time, you know, or you're just doing this, but really it's because you are running from something, you know, or something is triggering and you're channeling it sexually. Or even if you are horny all the time, you might want to figure out why you're horny all the time. Like what makes you horny all the time, Quagmire? You know, Quagmire was fucked up, and his name's Quagmire. But you know, remember his mom used to just do wild shit to him or whatever. It was like putting her in and out of his vagina and all that stuff. Remember, she was birthing him over and over again, like his mom was a sex addict. Like, these are things that you got to question about yourself, you know. So yeah, ladies, just know that it's not the same. Like, it's not the same. You know, that's why they have polygamy in tribes and in ancient times and African history. Men had many women because they understood the roles. We understood the roles and what women, we don't need many women, many men to give us babies. Like, why would you want all them dicks to have babies? Like, I only need one, you know, to have multiple babies with. Like, you know, queens were having 10, 11 babies then. I don't need all of them penises to have a kid. I can just have my offspring and create my village with one. But whatever you do is fine. Like, you want to, like, you know, like I said, have multiple baby daddies or whatever, like, that's on you. Like, do what you do. But the sex thing, it's never gonna happen. Relationship double standards, like, you know, the male and female double standards of power. Right now in America, we are in a man's world, but really it's supposed to be a woman's. Women are supposed to be in control. Like I said, we are Earth. We are the goddess of the Earth. Black women, we are the goddesses of the Earth. We are Earth, and our duty and our job and our reason of existence is to nurture nature. Like, that's it. Like, you know what I mean, and assist with the procreation and the helping of the evolving of the universe, of the Earth itself. And you know, the men are the protectors. They're like the warriors of that. So you know, do men have more power right now in this society? Yeah, they do, because they're in the power. Because in Western society, European society, we've come to the understanding that it's a man's world. You know, it's a man's world, but it's not a man's world. It's a woman's world. It's a woman's world. Women are just dethroned right now. So so yeah, right now they are in control. They do have the power because we were subdued and we were you know, subjected to legalized marriage between one person, one particular man. And we were also, you know, you can't wear pants, you can't vote. Like, they tried their hardest to make sure that the woman was below the man in this society, so we don't take control and bring the world to a loving nature that it's supposed to be at, and not so much to overly projected testosterone and aggression. Okay, so now my last few points are now about women not liking each other. So women, they just don't like each other. Like, and I just really don't get that. Like I said, I used to have issues with females growing up. They used to have issues with me, I guess, you know, but I've always been a controversial thinker to most people. But women just have this hatred for each other. Like, you know, black women in particular, they don't want other women around their men, and they don't want, you know, the oldest bitch, you know, they don't want women that look better than them hanging around them, or women that look better than them or just as good hanging around their men. They, you know, all this comes from insecurities and programming. But well, you know what, y'all don't like other women, but y'all love gay men. Y'all love gay men, and you'll have a gay man all around you. Now, is that because, you know, you have your insecurity? Like, is that because you're insecure and you feel like you know, having this man around, this gay man, makes you more secure because it is not a challenge or whatever. It's not like, there's no jealousy, there's no challenge. Just like I said about the white women being a carbon copy of the black woman, the gay man is a carbon copy. He's a copy. Okay, all of the which minorities do too, got from the black women. Us, we're the trendsetters, so we're the ones doing all these things, being our authentic self. So the black men, you know, even the white men are doing this, the white gay men, but the black gay men are like, you know, bitch, oh yeah, bitch, what, or all this, yeah, like that's what y'all want to be around, and that's what you all agree with, right? A man calling you a bitch or whatever, calling you a bitch, period, is just dogged out, right? But this is a man calling you a bitch. But if a straight alpha male man says it, if a straight dominant man says it, calls you a bitch, then it's like, oh no nigga, you don't call me no bitch, blah blah blah. But this gay dude can do it. Like, I mean, where is the priority at? Like, you know, and you all promote so, like, being around your gay friends and, oh bitch, yes, and dressing up cute, and, you know, yeah, and want to be, you know, support your transgender friend or whatever, and promote all that shit, and just be like, yeah bitch, go ahead and get it. Like, yeah, I love to promote my own extinction, you know, like y'all just promoting this shit so heavy. And but you don't want other women around your men, but you are cool with gay feminine dudes being around your men. You're cool with, like, babe, we gotta watch RuPaul's Drag Race, or babe, come see this movie with me, and it's just gay shit, and like, and then you get mad when there's so many down low gay dudes that come out of the closet, or you get mad when you know, like your transgender friend that looks way better than you took your man. Like, you how are you not liking women, but you gonna promote your extinction with these men or whatever? Like, y'all are confused. Like, you know, I don't get why women don't like women, because, I mean, are y'all in competition with each other? You know, who gives a fuck? There's some, you know how powerful women are, and our minds just together, you know, especially black women, we come together, we thinking about things, we're powerful, you know. So, but y'all, you know, it's the insecurities and all that, and the attachment of the LGBTQ, and they're trying to add P to that shit, community, to the black community, that agenda that they're attaching to it. Y'all are pushing that shit, you know. Y'all are accepting and pushing it, and contributing to pushing it. So now that you're pushing that shit, now that there's all these transgenders out here, these T's, as Dave Chappelle would say, alphabet people, these T's that are out here, you mad when your man or the straight man choose the tranny over you, or choose them over you and shit, when you was like, yes bitch, yes, yes bitch, yes. Like, hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't say like, oh, go get your man and do this and all that and promote the shit, and then when it's a man you want, get mad. Like, you know, like that, you're fucking, it's promoting your own extinction. You're the one putting yourself out of business. That's like giving away free weave at the beauty supply. Like, you know what I mean? Yes, just go get it, yes, and then get mad when people keep coming in asking for free weave, and get mad when you don't have nothing to sell and you don't have no money, and you expected it. You expected people to look out for you, but you mad now that you're going out of business. Like, it doesn't make any sense, you know. Y'all got too many insecurities. You know, that, like I said, they're an imitation of a woman. And does that make you feel more secure? I mean, the woman could be doing doing all the same shit, but you want this man around. That's not real. That's not real. That's an imitation of what he thinks a woman should be like. That's not even real, you know? Like, and some of y'all be fucking these men. Some of y'all be fucking these gay dudes. Like, and just know that too, fellas. Some of them be undercover, and they just like lying to just, you know, as a cover for your girl or whatever. But that's just already confusing in itself. But it's an imitation, you know. And also, you may want to ask yourself, is it because you want to hear the things that he tells you from a man? Are you not hearing what you want to hear from a man? You know, like, are you not hearing that you're beautiful? Yes, girl, you're beautiful. Yes, bitch, your body look good. Yeah. Is it because it's a man? It makes you feel better, you know? And it, like, I just feel like that all that shit got to do with women, excuse me, feel like they got to compete with each other, like, excuse me. But you don't really see a lot of white women acting like that or doing that. They always like look like cheerleaders with each other. You know, they're in a clique. You know, like Mean Girls and shit. You know, they're all mean, but they still like stay together. You know, so I just feel like that is an issue in our community too. You know, we gotta stop hating on each other so much, like men and women, and you know, just especially black females with black females. Like, you know, stop choosing these copies over what you could get authentically. You know what I mean? You should wonder why. And I'm not saying you can't be friends with a gay dude, a feminine gay male. I'm not saying that. You can be friends with them, of course. You know, but if you're that type of person where you don't have a lot of female friends, but you prefer gay male friends, you should ask yourself why. Like, why do you feel more comfortable around an authentic imitation of what they believe to be this, how women are, how women act and shit, mixed with a dab of man, a dab of testosterone. Why do you choose that over having an organic, understanding, relatable relationship? Like, we both have periods, we both, you know how it feels at PMS, we both like know how it feels to take it, have sex with a man vaginally. Like, we have relative things. We know how it feels to be a woman in this day and age, how it feels to get hit on a man and be looked at and how to be objectified. Like, we have relative things we can talk about. But women, I feel like, just focus on competing with each other, or she looks like this, or she looks better than me, or she doesn't look better than me. Just all that shit, just tearing each other apart, because they're not realizing that they're projecting their insecurities, as well as are programmed to hate each other. That is to their detriment. Like, and so they feel more comfortable promoting their own extinction and supporting imitation than uplifting their community, and not just black, but I mean their female community, and what we represent as women. So yeah, like if you like I said, it's not that you can't have gay male friends, you know what I mean? It's just about questioning why you only surrounding yourself with that, and is it because you feel threatened? And just see about that. Like, you should try to get more in touch with women and learning more about them. And that brings me to my last thing. I'm reading from a book here about all my points. Okay, men, everything isn't gay, and ladies, stop calling things gay, okay? So men, everything isn't gay, all right? So it's okay to be sensitive. Like I said, you're an XY, you used to be a woman, you're a man without the womb, you're a woman, you're a man without the womb. Okay, so it's okay to be sensitive. It's okay to, like, share your feelings and shit. Like, damn, you're not made of wood. Okay, so share your feelings and say how you feel. Be real, be genuine, be authentic. You want something in particular, say it. You want a polygamous relationship, say it. You want your girl to do this or that, then say it. Be vocal. Women are vocal shit. We be vocal. Look, you see me, I'm a ranter. We be vocal all day. We'll tell you something, hey, be vocal just like that, because you have the ability, So everything isn't gay. Just because you want to tell your woman she's this, or you want to feel this, it doesn't mean it's gay. Okay, it's about what you want. It's about what you want to do. So much everything's gay. So much stigma. That's gay. That's gay. Ladies, stop calling everything gay. Like, because a man's sensitive. Stop calling him gay, because you're putting in that male's mind that they can't be vulnerable with you, that they can't, like, express themselves to you because they'll be seen as gay. And that is a punch to their stomach. That's a punch in their character, because in any straight alpha male and a dominant male, heterosexual, views that as an insult, you know what I mean? Because they automatically think of feminine gay men, or anal sex and being submissive and vulnerability, you know what I mean? So, and that's already difficult for men to admit that they're vulnerable, a lot of men at least. So by you enabling that behavior, being like, that's gay, or be like, man, he was crying, man, he was acting like a bitch, or he, you know, he was gay, he all sensitive, or look, he wearing that shirt, that's gay, or his pants or his shirt tight, he gay, like, you know, he did this, or you know, when you ask them, like, you know, why you don't have a problem with gay men, you afraid you're gay, like, when you keep doing shit like that, you're traumatizing the psychological mind, you're traumatizing the male mind. Like, you know, y'all have to be careful with these words that you say. First of all, gay means happy, okay? We already know that, all right? So all these words are certain, like, spells and shit, but now that gay has evolved into gay, that people have taken gay about homosexuality, you are psychologically, like, raping your brain by saying these things to this man's ego. Like, you know, especially when he resonates and he relates it to a certain behavior that he doesn't agree with. Like, y'all just keep putting this shit on them and saying that it's gay, and then you get mad when you go find out they're gay. You know, like, you don't want to help them be gay by keep constantly calling them gay, okay? Or you the one that you know, you send a dude off, you be like, oh, he's gay or whatever, you'll be like, oh, whatever, fuck you nigga. He can't fuck you because the niggas fucking niggas. You know, the niggas are fucking niggas now, because one, you promoting your own extinction by, you know, putting it out there, but then you have gay friends and gay male friends, but then when a straight heterosexual male shows you some form of vulnerability, he's gay. Like, what the hell? Like, I'm just like, that shit is so confusing to me. Like, you know what gay is, right? You know what gay, like, we believe gay to be, right? And you, from what we know what feminine gay homosexual males are, like, you know, flamboyant gay males are. So if you know that this is what a flamboyant high level of gay male is, and you have this heterosexual, you see that this is a straight heterosexual male, and you know this about him, and he's trying to show you some sort of vulnerability, and you call him gay, and you associate that with the feminine flamboyant version of a gay man, then how is that cool? You know what I mean? Like, how are you okay with it over here because you know it's gay, but then when it's over here, it's actually not gay, you call it gay, and it's a bad thing for you? Why are y'all pushing these men away? Okay, why are y'all pushing these men away with your gay tactics? Are y'all afraid? You know, y'all just don't want any men around. You don't want men, you don't want women around, and you don't want masculine men around. Y'all just want to play with yourselves and be around gay men. That's all y'all want to do, right? It must be because you're confusing. You're confusing, okay? So, ladies, stop calling these men gay. And men, everything isn't gay. Vulnerability is okay. Vulnerability is perfectly fine. Be vulnerable. Express yourself. Express how you feel, okay? So, with that being said, this is like the end of my rant right here. Rant of a strong black woman. You know, it's tip of the iceberg, really. I have many more opinions. I was thinking of, you know, all the things I wanted to say and all the things I was going to say before I made this video, but of course I didn't record it, so all those things got lost in the sauce. But you know, this is just as great. So yeah, with all that being said, uplift the black community, uplift your people, inspire each other, be more vulnerable, brothers and sisters. Stop hating on them weaves. Ladies, you know, get your shit together and just accept that you can't do everything that a man can do, but you can do just as much and even more in a different context. You know, we're more powerful, but we don't need to demean ourselves, you know. And yeah, just like if you want to love who you love and you want to be in an interracial relationship, do your thing and do you, but just know that you need to practice what you preach. If you're on a conscious level and you're aware of things, practice what you preach, and that means in all aspects of your life, not just what you pick and choose to be true, you know, especially if you know what your ancestors went through. To anybody that is gay or homosexual or anything like that, you know, it's no shade to you. White people, no shade, no hate on you. Just stating opinions and facts about things, and you know, it is what it is. Like, it just is what it is. Like I said, if you choose to be gay, you know, you want to indulge in gay and homosexual activity, then do your thing, you know. Don't try to like make me change my opinion or my belief, but do your thing, all right? But this was mainly for the black men and the black women as a whole, and to come together, and man, woman, and child, we got to respect each other, respect our black women and our black men. And also for all my people watching, just respect each other, period. You know, respect each other, period. And just know that we got to come together. We got to get our community back up. We got to stop enabling bad behavior. We got to check each other. We got to practice what we preach. We got to watch these psychological weapons that are coming at us subliminally, this psychological warfare. We got to be more aware and of our surroundings and what we're putting ourselves in our environment, the music we listen to, and we can't be acting out on it, enabling it, and just listening to music and bitches and hoes, and then going on Instagram and calling and liking pictures of women that are half naked and twerking and like, you know, talking about how they love doing all types of wild sexual shit and all this free stuff, and liking those pictures, saying, yeah girl, you sexy and all that, and then loving it. And then when you meet a girl and she's dating you, and y'all not in a relationship, but she wants to date someone else, you calling her a hoe, or you want her to yourself and all that stuff. Like, come on, like, we can't be doing this like rat race in this wheel. Like, we really got to start like honing in on our fucking issues and what we got going on, and really just clean it up. Like, when are we gonna begin on doing this? We're really confused, and we have to get our shit together. And you know, we can't be enabling this bad behavior. So we have to check each other, and we got to respect each other when we do check each other. So if I'm checking you, you know what I mean, I'm gonna be as respectful as I can be, and as I need to be. And if you are receiving the check, you know, cash it. Like, just cash it. Like, stop making, like, stop trying to make that shit bounce. Like, stop forging, you know, rejecting it. Just cash the check and accept it. And if you don't agree with the information and the knowledge that I'm trying to drop on you to help you expand, you know, because I have an unbiased opinion. I've had a lot of experiences which got me to this point where I realized that where I did make mistakes at, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm able to relay those things to you. And if you are the person that I am checking, like I said, cash it and be able to receive that information. And if you don't agree with it, and you don't want to, and you don't enjoy what you're receiving, respectfully tell me that. Respectfully tell me that. You know, teach one. Let's teach each other how to be. All right. Let's act on what we say and teach each other how to be. When somebody's trying to tell you something and you don't like, you don't have to be like, shut the fuck up, or bitch shut up, or drop the little motherfucking emoji with the hand and stuff like that. Like, that is irritating. You know what I mean? Or because someone responds, you're triggered, like, or just antagonize them. Excuse me. Like, why? You know, be more open-minded. Everybody always talk about how they so conscious and want to be open-minded, then act on it. Act on it. Why are you being so rude and mean when somebody else is trying to give you some information and uplift you? If you don't like, just say, okay, I respect your insight, but it's not necessary and not warranted. Like, you know, and that, period. You don't have to listen, or don't. And if you're on social media, Facebook, stop hopping on to other people's shit that you don't like. So why are you even indulging in that environment? Like, why are you even doing that? You know, like, I'm sick of the, you know, some black people that come on, like, when I have an opinion, when I'm trying to check a black person, because y'all hate when we check each other. Like, y'all hate that shit for some reason when we check each other, but that's what we're supposed to be doing, because who the fuck's going to check us, okay, but ourselves. So when I'm checking something, like, like, black people always got something to say. Like, they're always just like, oh, bitch shut up, or nobody wants to hear that, or all that stuff. No, you don't want to hear that. Your closed-minded ass don't want to hear that. And if you want to vibrate where you are, stay there. You know what I'm saying? But the ones that want to raise their vibration and be conscious, they're going to hear me, and it's going to resonate, and it's going to reach who I want to reach. But even if you didn't want to hear it, how the fuck you going to tell me on social media to shut up to some shit you commented on? Like, really just think about how that doesn't make sense. Like, how the fuck can I shut up over the computer? Like, right? Like, I'm typing shit. Like, how can I shut up? Secondly, you're replying to shit, okay? So this was either a minute ago, 2 minutes ago, 4 hours ago, a day ago, and you're telling me to shut up. Like, first of all, I'm not even talking anymore. Like, I'm not even talking. Second of all, I never was talking to begin with. I was typing, okay? So you're telling me to shut up off some shit you don't want to hear when you chose to hear it. Like, you chose to come over here, comment on the shit, and be like, shut up. Like, it's like they be getting called out. Like the demon is getting exercised. It's like, I have to come to this pose. And like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you don't have to come over here and shit. So, you know, you don't want to be checked. Just say you don't want to be checked. Like, you know, people think that I know everything, but I just know a lot. And, you know, it's kind of hard to check me. But like, you know, if somebody wants to tell me something, and I feel like it's worthy information, I'm always willing to receive. I'm always willing to receive. I don't keep a closed mind. That's why my mind is so open. That's why I have so many perceptions and I have so much knowledge, because I'm always trying to consider the next opinion or perception or whatever. I'm always considering that. You know, I'm always trying to grow and evolve, and I know it doesn't end with where I'm at the moment. So yeah, let's teach one, each one teach one. Let's do better. Let's do the golden rule. You know, we learned that back in the day. Treat others the way you want to be treated. You know what I mean? Like, we should definitely be doing that, but especially within our own community. We should be treating each other the way that we deserve to be treated, and the way we've earned, and love each other, because we're looking in the mirror, you know? So with that being said, this is the end of my video. I hope this resonated with some of you and you learned something from this, and you know, we just all come together and we uplift one another, motivate one another, and we realize where these questions and these outlooks and these opinions and these perceptions come from. That it's all historically based, as well as spiritually based, mentally based, and just know that also you manifest your reality. And if you're on autopilot and you aren't aware, and your subconscious just rolling with you, and your spirit is just on autopilot, you're manifesting the subliminal programming. It's like a movie theater projector. It's playing back out, you know, that of what is the real that's being placed is playing back out through your eyes. Okay, so that is the perception that's being played out for you. So just get aware, get, you know, get conscious, get informed, and also uplift one another. Your man, uplift your man. By man, I mean mankind, your fellow man, and your fellow community, and let's spread that love and light. So again, thank you for watching. Thank you for hearing my rant from a strong black woman. Excuse me. I will continue to put up more rants, because that's what I do. I'm a talker. I like to talk. If you don't like it, then don't fucking watch. Like, if you don't like how long this video was, you want to comment and just put your energy into how long this video was and how you didn't like it or blah blah blah, then didn't your mama teach you, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all? Like, who just gets off on bullying another motherfucker? Like, who just does that? A low level, low vibrative demon does that. Like, that's just sad on you. You got some serious issues you need to work out if you feel like bullying me, trying to uplift you, is beneficial to you or anybody else. Like, hurting me is going to make you feel better and shit. Like, why do you want that negative energy? Don't you want to make someone feel good to make you feel better? Like, that shit feels better. Positive energy feels better. That the vibration is higher. The high is higher. You know what I mean? Like, the low shit feels like a junkie and it got side effects. It's like fucking horrible. It's like, you like, I'm sick, man. You know what I mean? Like, when you don't do the shit for a while, that's why you gotta fucking pick on someone. Like, you're just like, I'm sick, man. You know, you're going through fucking withdrawal. Like, so don't bring that negative shit over here. Just if you don't like it, stay over there and just rant in your head about how much you don't like anything that I said, okay? But just know I don't give a fuck. So with that being said, I love all of you, you know, despite everything, or even if you don't love me, and I love the ones that support, and I appreciate you, and thank you for watching. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on IG at XLUVLEEY Jones X. Okay, so that's again XLUVLEEY Jones X, X Lovely Jones X. Follow me, like, share, subscribe, spread love and light. Peace, peace to the Most High. Thank you.